The healthcare system that you're saying sucks is Obamacare. We told you this would happen.
She got us, you guys. How do we put this in terms that they can understand?
And which plan do you support, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
The Affordable Care Act.
And what is it about Obamacare that you do not like?
I just think that there's a lot of holes in it and it needs to be revamped.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen. So how many of you guys remember back in 2025, there was a lot of white people who wanted the Obamacare Act to be ended, right? Most of them not knowing that this was the very same thing as Affordable Health Care Act, right? And most of them just came to the realization that they messed up themselves.
Right. A lot of people, when Trump was trying to bring policies that would change the healthcare system in America, a lot of Americans were against that, and a lot of his voters were regretting, and they were not really happy with Trump, right? But they were in support of affordable healthcare without knowing that the Obama healthcare they wanted to end was one and the same thing.
Right now, most people came out into the internet and accused this very group of people wanting to end Obamacare Act because they were racist, and they thought that Obamacare Act only catered to the black community. And in today's video, we even hear some of them saying that they wanted it to end simply because they did not like Obama, but they had their full support for Donald Trump.
Right, guys, let's watch what is happening and then we come back and talk about it. You can let us know your thoughts and opinion on the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch.
The healthcare system that you're saying sucks is Obamacare. We told you this would happen.
She got us, you guys. How do we put this in terms that they can understand?
And which plan do you support, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
The Affordable Care Act.
And what is it about Obamacare that you do not like?
I just think that there's a lot of holes in it and it needs to be revamped. I think
And you think
hasn't
the Affordable
been thought out.
You think the Affordable Care Act is a better plan than Obamacare?
Better, but I'm not happy with that either.
What do you agree with, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I'm more sort of towards the Affordable Care Act, but I'm also very sympathetic for people that don't have the ability to have proper medical insurance.
So the Affordable Health Care Act is still a better option than
Yes.
Obamacare?
Yes.
And why do you not agree with the Affordable Care Act?
Well, I think it's not really available for all.
So the Affordable Care Act is more affordable than Obamacare?
Just the name says it all.
Right. You would agree with the Affordable Care Act?
Absolutely. I think it's nice that everyone can afford it, and everyone should be able to afford it, but to force people to pay something and then doctors to make something, limiting their ability to do their job, that's kind of anti-American.
Right. So Obamacare is un-American?
I think it's kind of un-American to force people. What if they can't afford it? What if they want more coverage?
And the Affordable Care Act is American?
I think it's more American because it allows people to make their own choices on what they want and who they want to work with.
Do you agree with the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare?
The affordable.
And why do you prefer the Affordable Care Act over Obamacare?
I just don't agree with the whole Obamacare policy thing that's going on. I just don't agree with it.
And do you believe that an informed citizenry is essential to a democracy?
Yes.
So you disagree with Obamacare?
Yes, I do.
Do you think insurance companies should be able to exclude people with pre-existing conditions?
No.
Do you agree that young people should be able to stay on their parents' plans until they are 26?
They should be able to, yes.
Do you agree that companies with 50 or more employees should provide health care?
I do.
And so by that logic, you would be for the Affordable Care Act?
Yes.
What plan do you support, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
The Affordable Care Act.
And why do you support that over Obamacare?
Do not like Obamacare. I don't like anything that has to be forced for everybody to buy. This is not good.
Do you think Obamacare is socialist?
Yes, I do.
Do you think the Affordable Care Act is socialist?
No.
Do you believe that Obamacare will eventually lead to gun prohibition?
Yes.
Do you know that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same?
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
Affordable Care Act.
And why is that?
Well, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Obama, so I don't support him in the Obama things that he's got going on. I'm actually really excited for President-elect Donald Trump. So.
Right. So you don't like anything Obama does, and you prefer the Affordable Care Act.
Absolutely.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I support Obamacare.
So if you were a senator and you could vote today, you would vote to keep Obamacare instead of the Affordable Care Act?
Yes.
I believe that Obamacare, the premiums are too much, too high, so people end up paying more. Right. So I believe in the Affordable Care Act.
And so the Affordable Care Act is more affordable than Obamacare? Right. Do you like the Affordable Care Act more than Obamacare?
Because I don't like Obama.
But you like the Affordable Care Act?
Yeah.
What if I told you Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing?
Hold up. Y'all actually didn't know Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are one and the same? Y'all made up the name. Y'all made it up. Y'all started calling it Obamacare. It had a name first. The name has always been the Affordable Care Act. Then y'all named it Obamacare. Did you forget? See, this is how I know y'all just hating indiscriminately. Y'all don't even know what y'all be hating. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he was black. That's what y'all do like. Why y'all ain't just look it up? Why you ain't just look it up? I guess so. Y'all crying on the internet talking about your health care is about to be taken away and you don't know what you're gonna do. But when that man said he doesn't have a plan, he has a concept of a plan for health care, why didn't that scare you? Why didn't that scare you? Oh, nah, y'all are stupid. Oh, y'all need to be studied by people who are not stupid. You know, like those people you didn't believe during COVID, the scientists. That was the word I was looking for. Ooh, shit, sorry. The stupid almost caught me just now.
All of these Trump voters admitting that they didn't realize that Obamacare was the Affordable Care Act when they vehemently hated Obamacare is one of the most openly racist things I've ever seen in my life. Like, I don't understand how they don't have the critical thinking and the thought process to just know not to say that out loud because of just how simply racist it is that they were so against Obamacare just because they associated it with Obama, which was the point. That's why Republicans coined Obamacare, so that racist people would hate it without understanding what it was. And that's exactly what they're admitting happened by saying they hated Obamacare and they thought Trump was going to get rid of Obamacare, but they have the Affordable Care Act and they didn't realize they were the same thing. I don't wish that they would keep it in, but it's insane to me that they don't have like the maybe 2 or 3 step thought process that tells them don't share that out loud because you are self-exposing that you are super racist.
Obamacare was not a disaster, and I really wish y'all would stop spreading that lie. And it's got to be because either A, you're too young to remember what the financial market and environment looked like back in like 2006, 2008, or you got a very short memory. I entered the workforce back in 2006, the same year I entered college, and the minimum wage was $5.15 an hour. Maybe 1 or 2 years after that, it was $6.55 an hour. At $5.15 an hour, $6.55 an hour, you were not getting insurance through the company. I remember that vividly. That premium was going to at least eat up 1 week of your check, and you only making $200 a week anyway, and you for damn sure wasn't going to get it privately because the premiums are even higher. This is why people back in the day told y'all, get a job with the post office, get a job with the city, get a job with the state, work for the government. Why? Because you may not get rich working for the government, but them benefits are going to make sure you're taken care of. But if you want to know the value of the ACA, you can just look at the benefits they celebrate. Do you know how many people were denied coverage due to pre-existing conditions? Do you understand how many people had the prices of their insurance jacked up just because they got sick? Y'all are harder on this legislation than y'all are on the companies that cause need for legislation. High premiums existed long before the Affordable Care Act. High deductibles existed long before the Affordable Care Act. Medical debt definitely existed long before the Affordable Care Act. In fact, medical debt has always been one of the leading causes of bankruptcy in the United States. The Affordable Care Act was originally meant to be a step toward universal health care. The problem is nobody else has taken another step to actually accomplish the goal of universal health care for citizens of the United States. Y'all got to start doing some research on your own instead of regurgitating these talking points that are completely unfounded.
Right behind me is the world headquarters of Centene.
So what you're telling me is
is y'all voted for him because y'all didn't want Obamacare anymore. And y'all don't like Obamacare because it has the word Obama in it. And y'all don't like Obama because multiple old white men have reiterated the falsehood that y'all need to fear black men. And now that y'all are finding out that Obamacare is the same thing as the Affordable Care Act, now y'all are upset. Y'all are using the Google now. But you're not racist. You're not racist though, right? Why else would Obama, the word itself, scare you? Why else would you be so vehemently against anything with Obama's name in it? Why do y'all not like that man for real? Is it because your pastor told you that he was the Antichrist? Is it because you've been informed that black equals bad? And that black man scary? Y'all so corny. And what's great is that we thought the find out stage would take a minute. Like, that man he ain't even in office yet. And y'all finding out right now in real time. In real time. I love that for y'all.
I think it's actually crazy that in the year of our Lord 2024, people still don't know that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing. Like, I look at the exit polls on like college educated voters versus non-college educated voters, and I think that Republican messaging is so much more sinister because their demographic really don't be knowing shit. Their voters just hear what they say and take it at face value and run with it. Like, it has been, what is 2008? I can't even do the math in my head. It has been so many years since Obama has been in office. And for a voter base to still not know that those two things are the exact same thing, and one of the most sinister things about it is that they message it as Obamacare as if it's some brilliantly different thing, and it really isn't. And so many of their voters use the Affordable Care Act. It's fascinating. It should be studied.
Does anybody remember that we were supposed to get a medical system better than Obamacare in Trump's first term? He said it was going to replace it. They were going to get rid of Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act, as a lot of his base didn't understand. And then we were going to get Trump's new health care plan. And he ran on that like the very beginning of his first term. And we never got it then. We got a book that was like bigger than 10 Bibles with literal blank pages because it was just a prop for the interview. And they didn't think that the interviewer was going to flip through the book live. Yeah, that was funny. It's weird how even now, technically, like 8 years later from that point, there's still no Trump healthcare plan, and there's not even talks of one.
Thank you for calling the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. This is Noah speaking. How can I be of assistance?
Hi, my name is Richard Cox. I went to go pick up my prescription, and they said that my insurance won't go through.
That's correct. Yes, sir. Your insurance was canceled.
Canceled? I have a Medicare.
You did have Medicare. Back in November, Donald Trump was elected to be president, and he was very clear about his intention to get rid of the Affordable Care Act.
No. He said he was getting rid of the Obamacare.
Yep, that's correct. Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act.
Bullshit. I never agreed to this.
Well, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Of course I did, but that's not the point. He was replacing the program.
Well, he said he had a concept of a plan to change the program. Unfortunately, he hasn't come through with that concept.
Concept? I need a prescription now or I'll die. At the end of this month, I need it now.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate, sir, but it sounds like you voted out of hate and against your own intentions. So you're going to have to come up with some private insurance to pay for, and that way you can get your prescriptions. But unfortunately, there's nothing we can do for you. I mean, you voted to get rid of the Affordable Care Act.
There's nothing you can do at all?
No, sir, the program's completely gone. I mean...
That's ridiculous.
Yep, that is ridiculous. That's why I did not vote for Donald Trump. Unfortunately, there's nothing more that I can advise you on to do, sir, as your account has been canceled.
Canceled?
Yes, sir. Completely canceled. You have no insurance from us. No insurance
That's
from the
outrageous.
government. Yeah, you're completely right, sir. It's outrageous, but you voted for it. So there's nothing I can do for you. I recommend going online and researching some private insurance companies and seeing how much they're going to charge you.
Well, if you can't help me, I don't know why I'm still on the phone with you then.
I don't know why you're on the phone with me either, sir. Have a great day.
Okay. You too.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about this video on the comment section. Yeah, you know, the funny thing is when such people get their karma and it comes in quickly, you know, because when they talk about one thing, they do it with such conviction, and one might even be forgiven for thinking that they're right. But this is where they manage to look foolish, because probably somebody is putting an argument out there, not because they've done research and followed up with the facts, but it's because probably they've heard somebody talk about it, or they're just saying that in support of their husbands or partners.
Right. And you know, the saddest thing about this situation is that right now internet is available nearly in all corners of the world, but most especially in America, in such a way that these are the same people who can simply just pick up their devices, their phones, and Google what ACA means, and they can also Google what Obamacare is and how it affects both parties if they believe that these were two separate things, right? But because of racism, and this is why we usually say racism is very, very costly. Because of racism, they do not go to do research into how this can affect any group of people when they champion for it to end, right? They just simply wanted for it to end, right? So right now, this is how they messed up, and they were realizing in these interviews that they really messed up, because I even had one gentleman say that he wanted that Obamacare Act to be ended because he didn't have a good reason, only because his girlfriend hated Obama and his girlfriend loved and supported Trump. And because of that reason, he was going to affect the lives of seemingly Black Americans, because he wanted that Black American program to end.
Right, and I can't help but remember someone who was talking about how for white people, because of racism, it would not matter if they're benefiting or enjoying a program that the government started. They would end it in 1 second if it meant they would deny the Black community that. And that reminds me of affirmative action. That is something that Black people championed for, and it was gonna help everybody, especially people of the minority, right? Mm-hmm. But white people were using the Asian community who want to be aligned with whiteness so bad that they allowed it to happen. They wanted to end affirmative action. And then later on, they came out complaining that they're not being picked. And what this ended up showing was that for Asians, it's all about books and being smart. And colleges, when they're picking people, they're not only looking at books, but also talent, which Asians didn't have. And they're complaining that, because you picture this, if you have yourself a situation where you have a student who is brainy, right? And then on this other hand, you have another student who is an option, who is not only brainy, but also has an extra talent to offer. Who of the two are you going to pick, you know? And that ended up biting them in the you-know-where, right? And then you talk about government assistance programs where white people wanted it to be ended so badly, and only to find out that these government assistance programs was helping a lot of white people. And because of racism, they wanted to end it. Remember, it's because of racism that it was helping a lot of white people, right? So you look at people who are coming out to talk about SNAP benefit and how it affected them after the policies that were meant to change them were implemented. And a lot of white people started coming out crying, talking about how they were suffering without their SNAP benefits, healthcare queens, you know.
And this even shocked not only Americans, Black Americans in America, it also shocked a lot of people outside of America, because we personally had never seen that large number of white people depending on SNAP benefits or food stamps, right? As the propaganda would have it, a lot of us outside of America used to believe that SNAP benefits and food stamps were only meant for Black Americans, and
Not meant, they were only helping Black Americans. And this was because apparently Black Americans were supposed to be lazy and unemployed.
Right. And because of this, when white Americans came onto the internet and a lot of them were complaining because their food stamps were being cut, a lot of us were very, very shocked that they also relied on these government programs, right? And we also look at things like DEI when DEI was ending. When the propaganda first started, it was made to believe that a lot of Black Americans and people of color were the only people who were benefiting from DEI, up until when DEI was ended, and then it started taking effects, that we saw a lot of white women who were DEI hires, and that is how we knew that white women were also being helped greatly by this program called the DEI.
Right. So guys, let us know what you think about this episode, because we'd really like to hear from you. And by now, if I would be surprised if there's a white person who does not know that Obamacare and ACA were the same thing. If there is, then
in this new age and era of the internet, you can literally quite Google this type of information.
Right. So if there is, then that is just someone who is willing to continue working in their ignorance.
Right. So guys, let us know what you think about this episode down on the comment section. Also consider subscribing if you're new to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.